What if I told you there's a holiday treat that's not only ridiculously easy to make, but also brings out the kid in all of us? Well, today I'm sharing a recipe that's been a staple in my house for years. M&M chocolate-covered pretzel rods. This is my daughter's absolute favorite recipe, and every year we have a blast making them together. There's something magical about dipping those pretzel rods into rich, melted chocolate and watching her eyes light up as she decorates them with colorful M&Ms. Curious to see how it's done and why this treat has become such a beloved tradition in our family. Stick around, because you're in for a sweet surprise. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm Arina, and here on my channel, I love sharing fun, festive recipes that are as enjoyable to make as they are to eat. Be sure to check the description below for links to all the tools and ingredients I'm using, along with other holiday recipes you won't want to miss. Let's dive in. First things first, let's measure and prepare all the ingredients. We'll be using 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips, pretzel rods, and 2 cups of M&M Christmas candy. Having everything ready before you start will make the process much smoother. I turn on my Wilton Candy Melt Pot to high heat and add the chocolate chips. This melting pot is honestly my go-to for melting chocolate. It just makes the process so easy and foolproof. I love how it heats evenly and keeps the chocolate at the perfect consistency for dipping, which is key for getting that smooth, velvety texture we're after. I stir the chocolate regularly with my trusty silicone spatula to make sure everything melts perfectly. If you're curious about other ways to melt chocolate, I've also linked a video below where I show some different techniques I've tried over the years. Once the chocolate is fully melted, I carefully transfer it to a silicone dipping cup. I love using this cup because it's flexible, easy to handle, and perfect for dipping. Now, here's an important step. Let the chocolate cool for about 10 minutes. This cooling period allows the chocolate to thicken slightly, which helps it stick better to the pretzel rods instead of sliding off. Ideally, you want the chocolate to cool to around 90 degrees Fahrenheit. You can check the temperature with a digital heat thermometer, one of my favorite kitchen tools that I highly recommend. If you don't have a thermometer, no worries. Just wait about 10 to 15 minutes for the chocolate to cool to the right consistency. This ensures your pretzel rods are perfectly coated with a smooth, even layer of chocolate. While the chocolate is cooling, I take a moment to prepare a baking sheet by lining it with parchment paper. This step is key. It not only prevents the pretzel rods from sticking, but also makes cleanup super easy. I prefer to use pre-cut parchment paper sheets in my kitchen because they're such a time saver. Here's a personal tip. I recommend arranging all your pretzel rods and M&M candies right next to the baking sheet before you start dipping. Chocolate can start cooling and hardening quickly, so having everything within arm's reach will help you work efficiently and ensure that the M&Ms stick perfectly to the chocolate before it sets. This way, You can decorate each rod quickly and avoid any frustrating moments where the chocolate hardens before you're done. Now, it's time to dip. Take a pretzel rod and dip it into the cooled melted chocolate, covering it about 3/4 of the way. Let any excess chocolate drip off before placing the rod onto the parchment paper. While the chocolate is still soft, immediately sprinkle or press the M&Ms onto the chocolate-covered pretzel. The chocolate will act as glue, holding the candies in place. Repeat the process with the remaining pretzel rods. And here's where things can get a bit tricky. You'll want to work quickly, almost like you're in a chocolate dipping race, to make sure the chocolate doesn't harden before you can decorate. Trust me, nothing's more frustrating than trying to stick M&Ms onto chocolate that's already decided it's done playing nice. I've learned this the hard way, so now I keep everything lined up and ready to go. No hunting for that last pretzel rod while the chocolate solidifies into a stubborn, non-sticky mess. Just keep the pace up, have fun with it, and remember, a little bit of chaos in the kitchen just adds to the holiday spirit. I hope you're having as much fun making these chocolate-covered pretzels as I am. If you're enjoying this recipe, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss out on any more festive treats. Have you tried making this recipe before? How did it turn out? Got any tips or tricks to share? I'd love to hear your ideas. Thanks for hanging out with me. Let's dive back in and finish up these delicious pretzel rods. If you don't have all the specific tools I'm using in this recipe, don't stress about it. You can easily substitute with kitchen items you probably already have on hand. For example, if you don't have a candy melting pot, you can melt the chocolate chips in a microwave-safe bowl. Just be sure to stir every 20 to 30 seconds to prevent burning. A regular bowl or mug can stand in for a silicone dipping cup. Just make sure it's something you can comfortably dip the pretzels into. If you don't have a silicone spatula, a regular spatula, or even a spoon will work just fine for stirring the chocolate and spreading it evenly. And if you're out of parchment paper, wax paper, or even aluminum foil can be a good substitute for lining your baking sheet. The key is to be resourceful and make the recipe work with what you have. After all, the most important thing is that you're having fun and creating something delicious. Once all the rods are decorated, it's time to set them. You can either refrigerate the pretzel rods for about 10 minutes, or if you have the time, let them sit on the counter for 30 minutes until completely hardened. This ensures that the chocolate and M&Ms are firmly set. Once the pretzel rods have hardened, they're ready to enjoy. You can arrange them on a large serving plate for a festive snack display, or if you're planning to gift them, here's a great way to package them. For gifting, place each pretzel rod into a clear bag specifically designed for pretzel rods. These bags often come with festive designs, adding a little extra holiday cheer. Tie the bags with a twist tie or a festive ribbon to secure them, and just like that, your M&M chocolate-covered pretzel rods are ready to be shared with friends and family.